Alright then guys, welcome back to the channel. Now if this is your first time discovering my channel, please do me a favor, click the like button, subscribe and leave your comments in the section below. Oleksandr Usyk is a special fighter. Oleksandr Usyk, the assassin, deserves all the credit. I think Oleksandr Usyk's career trajectory, it's quite comparable to the one of Evander Holyfield, but I think what sets Usyk apart from Evander Holyfield is his dominance in the cruiserweight division and in the heavyweight division, as we have seen currently, as he is the undisputed heavyweight champion. And I think, to sort of have an understanding of what Usyk has done, you got to look at his his dominance in the cruiserweight all the way through to the heavyweight and the fighters that he's beaten and how he's beaten them to become, in my eyes, the best heavyweight at the moment and probably the best heavyweight of this era. His dominance really started when he fought Krzysztof Glowacki for the WBO World Cruiserweight Championship, and Glowacki was 26-0-0, right? So that was a great fight. Glowacki at that time, he was known as the boogeyman, the one that you can't just beat, and Usyk did beat him for the WBA Championship. And then he went on to fight Thabiso Muchunu. And by the way, all these fights, apart from the Dubois fight, which I'll come on to, is the fight that he fought, in a country of his choosing. Apart from that, every other fight that Usyk has fought so far in his career, he's fought in someone's backyard. So he fights Thabiso Muchunu, defended that, fought for the WBO Cruiserweight Champion, which he won. Thabiso Muchunu at that time was 17-2-0. So a fantastic record as well. And then he fights, in my opinion, one of the best fighters during that time, which is Michael Hunter, right? He fights Michael Hunter in the US for the WBO Cruiserweight Champion, which of course, he won from, Thabiso Muchunu. And you need to go and watch that fight again if you haven't seen it. In that fight, Usyk throws about 100 punches a round. He throws about 100 punches around, and Michael Hunter, he was just found wanting in that fight. The skill level between Michael Hunter, who was a very, very good fighter, by the way, against Usyk was just not even comparable. And then he goes on to fight Marco Huck. Again, defended that WBO Cruiserweight Champion. Marco Huck was 44-1. So definitely someone with a lot of experience in there. And then he fights someone that was considered the best fighter, the best cruiserweight, or one of the best cruiserweight during that time, in Marius Briedis for the WBC Cruiserweight and the WBO Cruiserweight Championship, right? Unification with Marius Briedis, who he also beat. Marius Briedis, by the way, had a 23-0-0 record during that time when he fought Usyk. And then he goes on to fight Murat Gassiev, and that is for the IBF, WBO and WBC Championship, which was an incredible fight. A unification. If you haven't seen it, go look at it. Fantastic fight, right? 26-0-0 is the record for Murat Gassiev. So a very, very good record, and someone that is known to be one of the best. And then the fight that UK fight fans probably remember was against Tony Bellew in Manchester Arena. Usyk fought Tony Bellew for the IBF, WBC and WBO Championship. Unified the division to become undisputed. And I remember that fight, Tony Bellew was doing so well. From round 1 to round 7, Usyk had a few rounds in there, but Tony Bellew was doing fantastically well, popping his jab, moving very well, counter punching, sort of having a really good time in there. But what sets Usyk apart and what he always does is he finds a way. And because he's got such a fantastic engine and stamina and the ability to put the pressure on. And Tony Bellew has said it many times about Usyk's ability to put a lot of pressure on you with his feet, with his movement. And I believe it was round 7 or round 8. Usyk started throwing the jab, the left hook, from a really difficult angle because he's a southpaw. He's very side on but a little bit square. So he throws the left hook from a really different angle because that was the adjustment that he made in that Tony Bellew fight and knocked Tony Bellew spark out. Literally. Good night. So that was that, that is the fight that a lot of UK fight fans sort of saw Usyk as this guy is really serious because of what he did to Tony Bellew there. And then he moves on to heavyweight fight with Chaz Witherspoon, who, of course, is not, a world beater, compared to Anthony Joshua and them guys. But you could forgive Usyk for taking someone like Chaz Witherspoon because, that was the first, his first fight in heavyweight. And so he needs someone to get used to. Chaz Witherspoon, who was like 38-3, who he beat comfortably. And then he goes and fight Derek Chisora. As we know, Derek Chisora is a full-fledged heavyweight who comes to fight. He throws a lot of punches. He throws a lot of overhand rights. And, he comes to do damage. And we know Derek Chisora, even though he's lost, he's still come to fight. And if you're not on your game, you will be found wanting. And Usyk dealt with Derek Chisora. Although I think Derek Chisora actually did well in that fight, he still lost to Usyk. And then Usyk goes and fight Anthony Joshua, who at that time was 24-1-0. And his only loss was against, the biggest upset of this generation, Andy Ruiz. And Usyk in that AJ fight, we all saw that, how he destroyed the bigger man, the man that hits harder than him. The pressure that he put onto Anthony Joshua and destroyed him for the world to see. And then he takes that Anthony Joshua rematch, which Joshua does well, but still loses that fight to Usyk. Usyk dominated that fight. And then he takes the Dubois fight, and this is where he fights in Poland, I believe, because of the war in Ukraine. Daniel Dubois was 19-1-0. Younger guy, punches really hard. We saw what happened in that fight. I think that blow was a low blow because of, the referee has a discretion to call it a low blow. I think he hit Usyk quite low. It was an illegal punch more than it was a legal punch. So I didn't mind the referee sort of, calling that a low blow. Usyk, of course, milked the situation as as an experienced fighter and really wanted to win that fight and stop Dubois. And then he fights Tyson Fury for the first time in Saudi Arabia. And we all know what happened. Don't let the media, the likes of Frank Warren, Steve Bunns, and those guys at TNT Sports tell you that Fury was winning a fight. Usyk dominated that fight and Usyk won that fight fair and square. And now he's fighting Tyson Fury, the guy that many people said was the best heavyweight of this generation. Usyk has beaten and he's fighting him again. So look, Usyk is a road warrior. Usyk, I believe, is the best heavyweight of this generation. Usyk is the assassin, and I think he deserves all the credit to come from cruiserweight all the way to heavyweight and dominate the way he's done it. We've never seen it before. So look, for me, I think, he's the best. But you guys let me know in the comment section below what you think about Usyk's, dominance from cruiserweight to heavyweight. If you have any comments, please put it below. If you don't agree with something, let me know what you think about it. I'm happy to hear what you guys have to say. Of course, keep subscribing, like this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.